Ladies and gentlemen, we are live from Old Atlanta Speedway in the Universal iRacing Series. It's the 40XI Driver Academy Contender Series. It's race 2 of the season, and this one's the Coca-Cola 120 from the home of Coca-Cola in Atlanta, Georgia. Old Atlanta. It's going to be a 120 lap race around this old surface that is, sadly no longer a thing. And tonight it's going to be laps 1 to lap 30 is going to be the stage 1. And that's going to be our only stage break of the night. As for these 50% races, we do not do 3 different stages. It's just the lap 30, the top 7 getting points in the stage, and then after that we go from lap 31 to lap 120. So we got a very long second stage on this old surface. The tires are going to be wearing. How are these guys going to be able to handle the tire wear? Are they going to be able to conserve their tires? I mean, we can see on that first run, if they can get a first, a decently, size run in, and they can save their tires, they're going to be contention for the win. Obviously, our top dogs today is going to be like Alexander Ortega, Trent Wilkin, coming off, a Final Four appearance last season, and really is just trying to get back to where he was, and he's going to be a force to be reckoned with this season. I mean, you got Ken Dorian Davis as well, the defending champion Wyatt D. Thompson not showing up at Daytona. Now he's in 13th place, and Peter Hoppy trying to muster up something in his second race of the season, and it's gonna be an interesting one. We are a minute and 38 seconds away from qualifying here. As we'll go on board, or get a little bit of roof cam with our defending champion. See what line he's running. He's over a second off of his best time. That Chevrolet Camaro. As the practice session will end, and we'll be here for qualifying now, and interesting to see who will be able to be doing certain things in this qualifying session. I mean, this is a big session. As in this old surface, you want to get out front, you want to get that clean air, you want to be able to be the one that's leading the pack, and let's go with our defending champion. Let's watch him on his laps. Our defending champion making his debut today this season. A little bit loose on my right rear tire. Coming to his first lap of qualifying of the season, or his second lap technically, as he did he did qualify for Daytona, but just, issues, just cannot race at Daytona. So now he'll be starting his second lap. Obviously, most of these guys we're going to be seeing, they're going to be setting up their second lap. There's a little bit of marbles up there on that outside line. So he's not up next to the wall necessarily. What's he going to run for his first time? And, Wyatt D. Thompson's a guy that's fairly quick. I mean, he ran a 31.7. That was pretty much his best lap of practice. It was a 31.7. He's on the outside line here on his second lap. And down the back straightaway. What is he doing? 3 and 4. It's outside again. This is just 2 push laps on this middle line. He's going to cut it down to the bottom more than likely as much as he can. Just can't get it near enough to the bottom. 30.7 for Casey Benson. Wyatt D. Thompson will take provisional pole by over a 10th. Let's see what Alexander Ortega can do. He's on pit road still. Right on board with Kobe Duckworth here on his first lap. Jackson Brown just over half a tenth slower than Wyatt D. Thompson. Kobe Duckworth now goes to the top by over a 10th over Wyatt Thompson. Can he improve on his second lap? Peter Hoppy goes almost a 10th slower than Duckworth, but he still goes to the top mainly. Or almost to the top, front row right now. Duckworth comes to the line. Can he improve? No, he cannot. He's 10th slower. Nicholas Road now. Seems he's done with both of his laps. See what Kendorian Davis can do. As, he's got a Mach 5 guy in P3 right now. Mach 5, P3. Mach 5 Frost Motorsports. Chevrolet Camaro. We got a Napa car on the pole right now. Can we see another Napa car on the front row? One of them's a Toyota and one of them's a Chevrolet. Ortega with a 26.6 on his first lap. Or wait, not a 26.6. Whoa, that would be crazy. That's a glitch right there on my screen. And KD going to the bottom. Drifting up to that outside line. What is he going to do on his first lap of qualifying? Most of these guys now at the front are taking their first lap. Ortega goes to the top. Kendorian Davis goes to 4th, and he's going to pull it off the track. Trent Wilkin now. I think if there's going to be any guy that can take this pole, it's going to be this guy. I mean, he's been so dominant at the entirety of last season, pretty much. I mean, he won the Rookie of the Year and didn't even win the championship, but he was just so much faster than 90% of the field the last 2 months of the season. Obviously, he just doesn't get the greatest of luck at Daytona, and now has the opportunity to go and showcase what he can actually go do. And 30.395 is a very gettable lap time, as he's probably going to set up for a second lap. His teammate in second place, his other teammate in 7th place. Hector Colaza goes to 9th. And Wilkin off of turn 4X. It's really low off the corner. He's really digging. And Trenton Wilkin goes 30.415. That puts him just off of Ortega. Here he is on his second lap now. And hits the wall. His lap's over and he crashes into the outside wall. And qualifying is over. Qualifying is over. And ladies and gentlemen, our field is set for the Coca-Cola 120 at Old Atlanta Speedway. As we'll be going green flag in just a moment. And here we go. We'll go through a little bit of a rundown through this grid. Alexander Ortega lining up on the pole position on the inside of that Ford Mustang. P2, we got Trent Wilkin, 3rd place. Oh, hold on, my cameras are... Third place, row 2, Colby Duckworth in the Canadian Motorsports car. Fourth place, JJ Moore in his second race of the season. And that Mach 5 Frost Motorsports car. P6, or P5, Peter Hoppy. P6, Joshua Byron. P7, the 9 car of Ken Dorian Davis. And that Frost Mach 5 car. P8, Wyatt Thompson. So we got 3 Mach 5 cars in the top 10. P9, Jackson Brown. And that Canadian Motorsports machine. P10, Riley Maxwell. P11, Hector Collazo. 12, Noah Nicholson. He's not on the grid. Oh, there he is on the grid now. Benjamin Hagstrom in P13. Daniel Sila in P14. Nicholas Rode. Casey Bentz. Richard Myers. Eric Labombard. Learned how to say that one last night in an A-Fix race. William Johnson. David Hamburg. Camilo Achivara. Henry Kaloff. Kai Collymore in the back of the field. And Maxwell Funderburk. I don't think he's racing. I think he's race controlling. And our defending winner, Travis Prather, does not show up today at Old Atlanta, so alright guys, I'm gonna just do something really quick where I'm gonna zoom out so we can see more of the track, because like that's just gonna look bad for all of us. So there you go, I zoomed out. Restart is gonna be on the green flag when Ortega gets inside of it, inside of the restart zone. We delay it by 1 lap. One momento, I'm going to be trying to get trading paints to refresh here, because does that seem some people's paint schemes are popping up for me. Trading paints is reopen, so I guess we're just gonna have to oh, some of them are reloading. Oh, and Ortega's is trying to reload, and everybody's is reloading, and Ortega's is not what I don't think that's what's on his car. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Race number 2 of the UIS season. It's season 7, I believe, of the Contender Series. Season 2 in the Xfinity car. And the green flag is in the air. We got guys already looking to go 3 wide back there. It's Daniel Sila. They're 3 wide off the start of the race. That should be a penalty going for the 10 car. Alexander Ortega out front. Already got spinners. Big wreck in the back. Caution is out already. Kai Kellymore seems to be involved. Nope, he gets through it. It's his teammate. Big wreck off the start. Eric Lombard destroyed. We'll go see a replay off this early yellow. See from Eric's view, he just shoots the middle 3 wide. Guy's trying to take it easy off the start. And just the 21 seems... Oh, no, he didn't even get involved with that. It was the 10 and the 41. Look at it from Daniel Silia's his onboard, see what he saw. Not his onboard, his hood camera. So he went through right off the start, which first of all, that's illegal. That's a black flag penalty. Yes, he's already on pit road now. Let's see what happens here. I think the 41 just comes off the corner now. Yeah, 41 and knowing Nicholson just comes up off the corner and makes contact with them there. Both of them all very hard. Eric Lombard just not lucky in that situation. Is lots of guys on pit road here. Eric seems to have a pretty decent amount of rear end damage and maybe a little bit of front end damage too while he's at it. I hate this TV1 camera here. But lap 1 of the race, lap 1 of a real racetrack this season, and first caution. And the duels, or the little backstory or whatever of Daytona, you know, it was a great hard fought race for everybody in the field. You know, we got guys going too wide the whole night, very little single file racing, yeah, lots of hard pushing at the front. It just came down to, I believe it was a green white checkered at the end. You know, we have a top 8 cars going into turn 3 on the final lap of the race, and Travis Prather or Henry Kaloff goes to block Kai Collymore on the high side and on the bottom, and Kai Collymore puts his nose somewhere where it should not have been, and I think he received, that's what the EOL penalty was for. Puts his nose somewhere where the nose should not have been, and the caution causes a huge wreck. And the caution does not come out because on IRacing, the last lap of the race is the point of no return. So we go to the last, we keep going green, and everybody except for everybody except for Travis Prather gets involved in the wreck, and he can just walk his way to his first ever UIS win. So very lucky for him, and Zachary Trevino with a P2 there too as well. And Ortega will pick the bottom here in this restart. Leader does get lane choice on restarts here. We'll be going green flag yet again, and hopefully Ortega can get the same type of jump as he just got on last restart. So this time, Ortega does not need to win on the green flag. Ortega can go whenever he wants inside of that restart zone. And he's got 2 Toyotas surrounding him. The outside line seems to be better, so maybe the bottom was not the pick here, at least in the truck race on Monday night, which Max Ford ends up winning. The outside line was the preferred line on restarts, and in the race, that middle line of the racetrack and the outside line, you could just pinch the guys down in the corners and you can get the run, and it's not going to matter here as Ortega with a huge jump over Trent Wilkin. Wilkin won't even have a chance to go after him into turn 1. Colby Duckworth going to be underneath Trenton Wilkin going into turn number 1. They're right on each other's quarter panel. Down the back straightaway, and Trenton Wilkin with a big advantage off that high line. Same thing with JJ Moore now. JJ Moore rolling now here, as he was very quick last season here at Old Atlanta, and JJ Moore up to P3 already. And remember, this stage is only 30 laps. So these guys are going to be saving that tire just a little bit, and they're going to be going mainly. Got 2 wide race in the middle of the pack. Peter Hoppy in it. What we seen Monday night was a lot of pack racing almost, it seemed like. Oh, the 26, Joshua Byron gets tight going into turn number 1. Almost ran over the back of JJ Moore. Oh, Jackson Brown spinning off of turn number 2. Does he save it? Yes, he does for the most part, and he keeps it going in the right direction. We stay green. Single file racing here at the front. Everybody just trying to save that tire. J.J. Moore going to the bottom of the racetrack, almost thinking about it. Riley Maxwell now looking to make a move on the 26 of Joshua Byron. On the outside line rolling. Riley Maxwell will clear. Can he get Wilkin as well off of turn number 2? Seems the bottom is better for the saving the tires because, you know, just rolls through the corner. And the middle, or the top, is way faster on the track. And Maxwell, he's going. And maybe this is what these guys are going to have to do this race. You know, just use that outside line, gain a few spots, and go right back to the bottom. Save that tire as we got the 50 of Hector Collazo now. The road course guy on the outside. Is he going to be able to get to the back bumper of Ortega off of turn number 2? Maybe even be alongside of him, and he will be. And he will clear him off of turn number 2. Hector Collazo into the lead for the first time in the season. Normally we see him leading on the road courses. Well, he's leading at an oval today. Now look at him. Now he goes to that bottom line. These guys are going like, oh, we got guys on the wall. Wyatt Blair in the wall. Keep it in the right direction. For now, we got IRacing up here, back here. Wyatt Blair and Eric Labombard battling each other pretty hard here for 12th place. Remember, top 7 gets stage points. And J.J. Moore's falling all the way to 8th place now, but he's saving that tire. Same thing with Trenton Wilkin and Hector Collazo battling with Henry Kaloff, who could have won Daytona. He was at the front, had his chance to win it, just could not get it done here at the front of the pack. Alexander Ortega back to 3rd place, and Collazo running that middle line. Maybe he knows. Maybe he knows something others do not. Maxwell putting pressure on Ortega, it seems like. Maybe he's going to go around the outside into turn 1. He will. He's going to be able to get there, though. He's going to have the run in the middle of the corner. Right on his quarter panel on the exit. And Ortega will clear. Collazo very loose off of turn 2. Almost loses it into the outside wall. Oh, my goodness. Now, Collazo running right on that outside seam in turns 3 and 4. Peter Hoppy falling back to 12th now as well. This guy had big expectations last season. No longer full-time. And Ken Dorian Davis starting to make up some customers. Look at these guys that are 11th, 10th, and 9th, and even 7th. You know, these are 4 guys that are fast. And J.J. Moore, Trent Wilkin, Duckworth, and Ken Dorian Davis. All these guys are always fast week in and week out, but they just trying to either save that tire or they're with everybody else pushing, or these guys at the front, or just they know. There's a chance that these guys at the front know that how long the tire is going to hang on for. Those guys could also be hoping for a caution as well. And very good racing through the pack. Jackson Brown got it going straight again. Did not seem to be hitting the wall. Kai Codmore, I think, had a drive-through penalty as well, along top of the end-of-line penalty to start the race for his actions at Daytona. He does not have a good week last week at Daytona. And both series was almost on the verge of being disqualified at Daytona for the 500 based off of instances causes. I mean, him and Alexander Ortega, that 40XI team, just dominated at Daytona until everything went wrong. They all got involved in a couple wrecks. They just cannot get back together, and that's what seemed to be the issue with. And then Logan Frank wins his 2nd ever Daytona 500 in the UIS, as he just was there. I mean, everybody wrecked coming in the line just like how they did Friday night, and Logan Frank was able to win it. And obviously there's no Logan Frank here tonight, but Hector Collazo starting to look like Logan Frank in his prime, as he's dominated this first stage, over 5/10 ahead of Henry Kaloff. As he's yet to go to that bottom line, maybe he thinks that he can keep the pace up on the outside line, or maybe he thinks he can get a caution. He only got 13 or 14 laps, coming to 13 to go on the stage. Colazzo's been dominating this one. See a little bit further on the pack. Wyatt Thompson up to into the top 5 now. If he passes JJ Moore probably lets him go by, as he can tell this the defending champion is maybe a little bit quicker than him. Decent racing further on the back. Trent Wilkin falling back farther than we usually see him, as he's that FanDuel Toyota Supra. As he's fallen to P11 now. Not very Trent Wilkin like for him. Maybe just trying to save the tires. Maybe he's going to make a late push to the front if he can. I mean, it's going to be hard to go catch this guy, Hector Colazzo. 3 seconds ahead of Trent Wilkin, who's in 11th, but Alexander Ortega, he says it's time to go. He's pushing hard. He's going to go to the bottom here. Is he going to have the traction going into turn 3, or is he going to have the grip on that bottom line, or is he going to slide job the 57? Oh, no, he's just going to straight up clear him off of the corner. Is he going to come up? Yes, he will. Does Henry have anything for him? I think he realizes those tires might be better. Henry just gives him a little bump down the front straightaway. And the gap less than 5 tenths. With coming to 10 to go on the stage. Stage end of lap 30. Kendall Davis all the way down there near the apron. As Alexander Ortega really trying to reel in the 50 of Hector Colazzo. Is he going to have the opportunity to? Ortega subbing for Nicholas Martinez Jr., who had work tonight, I believe. Subbed for him, or somebody subbed for him last week as well in the 48 car. It's too bad the scheme won't load. Ortega just not getting the time that we thought he would. But Atlanta, you know, the tires, what we've seen on Monday night is that the tires didn't really fall off how they normally would at Atlanta. They would just die. Like, it got to a point where, you know, you had the grip, and then the next lap, you just had zero grip. And maybe Hector Colazzo, maybe it's going to be the same thing in this car. Maybe Hector Colazzo starts to experience that in the next couple laps. As Ortega's driving in deep, and he's less than 4 tenths away. He gains over a tenth in that corner, but he gains it right back on the straightaway, being on that outside line, and right back to 5 tenths. It's going to be very hard for the 48 to catch him. He's going to have to run that outside line, and he's starting to realize that, and maybe takes a big arc into 3. Right on that white line. Gap 5.5 tenths now. Last lap. Colazzo 32.4. Ortega 32.5. A tenth faster almost for Colazzo yet again. Those tires don't seem to be falling off. Maybe the outside line you can save with those tires. You can save the tire. Maybe everybody else is just, you know, doing something wrong, and Hector just knows what he's doing. I mean, knowing him, he just did not put any practice into this one. He just came into the session, practiced a little bit before the race, and, you know, gritted up. He's been quick all night so far. Ortega finally starting to go to that middle high line. Seems you just cannot really pass on the bottom. The outside line just has such a big run. See what Ortega can do on this lap, as this is his first time running the outside line. Last time he was yet again almost a tenth slower, 7,000 slower, or 700 slower than Colazzo. Again, this lap Colazzo ran a 32.471, and Ortega 32.516. So Ortega a lot quicker compared to his previous laps trying to run down Colazzo. Coming to 5 to go on the stage now. Maybe he saved the tire. We'll see. This lap. Coming to the line. Colazzo runs 32.508. And Ortega 32.413. Almost a tenth quicker that lap. Can he get there? He's going to need a little bit more than gaining almost a tenth. He's going to need to be gaining just a little bit over a tenth, actually. Gap less than 5/10 going into turn 3. The right front of Collazo might be falling off here. Seems Ortega's better than 1 and 2, but gains a crap ton in 1 and 2. Collazo gains more, and then they're pretty even in 3 and 4. Collazo 32.6, Ortega 32.4. 2/10 faster that lap. The gap 3/10 now, coming to 3 to go on the stage. JJ Moore making a move on his teammate now, going into turn 3 for 3rd place in the stage. The dirty air hasn't been able to, you haven't really been able to notice it as recently in iRacing with this car. Maybe you'll start to note, maybe it'll be a thing today. Last lap, 32.575 for Collazo, 32.478 for Ortega. Collazo running just over a tenth slower that lap. Gap 3/10. Well, there's 3 laps to go, coming to 2 to go on this stage. Ortega is subbing for a guy, so hey, maybe he told him, hey, go out there, go win me a stage. Knowing Ortega, he's going to be very aggressive here. The gap, about 2.5 tenths. 32.6 and the 32.5. It's been about a tenth faster each time, but how is he going to get around him with Collazo on this outside line as well? And he's going to have a big run. It's going to be less than a tenth, more than likely, going into turn 3. Just over a tenth, actually. Ortega running that middle line. What can he do? What kind of traction can he get? Collazo coming down the track. Coming to the white flag on the stage. 1 more lap to go. Pits are closed. They're side by side here. 1 more lap to go in stage 1. Ortega drives it in deep. Collazo on the wall. Ortega in the wall as well. Collazo back underneath them. Off of turn 2. They're side by side. Down the back straightaway. Advantage to 50. Ortega drives it in deep on the bottom. Can he make it stick? Caution is out, it seems. Caution is out for what? Oh, Eric. Yet again. And Hector Collazo will win stage 1. Oh my. Big wreck on the front stretch. Tons of cars involved. Seen the 88 of Riley Maxwell. Whoever, the 26 of Joshua Byron getting very, very loose right there. What happens here? He just get Eric with a big run on the bottom. 88 of Riley Maxwell just getting very loose on that front straightaway. Probably just turned the wheel too much, and a massive wreck in Eric Lombard. Car just absolutely destroyed, and Alexander Ortega officially stage 1 winner. Here at Atlanta. For Riga Redline Racing. Team owned by James Cesar, and we'll see who can win the race off of pit road. It'll be the 48 yet again, and he will be the pole sitter and stage 1 winner. We come into the green flag for stage number 2 this time by, and that was the only stage of this race. So we'll be going from now to the end of the day. Claws on the outside. It seems like it could be a race between the 48 and the 50. I mean, those two were the quickest in the stages. Kinder and Davis seems to have a speeding penalty. We'll see it be going to the back of the field here for the start of stage 2. 88 car seems to have pretty good right front damage as well, so that should be interesting on this restart. Here we go, pace car coming in this time by Alan Ortega in the restart zone, and green flag in the air. Great jump for the 48 yet again. See, no competition in the 1. See what's going on back here. We got Nicholas Rowe now trying to make a move for P8 on Carmelo Echevarria. Everybody seems to be kind of clean and simple in this restart except for Wyatt D. Thompson. He throws a block to his team owner, J.J. Moore. Going for the lead is Henry Kaloff. Right on the outside line of Alexander Ortega. And Colosso's going to need to save that tire way better than he did that last stage, because if he doesn't, it's gonna be a rough and a very long night for the 50 car. And Henry Kaloff is leading on the bottom, pulling away. And Collazo doing what he did in stage 1, going to the outside of Ortega, should have the run off the corner. And going into turn 1, he should have him, unless he might already have him. No, they're going to be side by side going into turn 1. Maybe Collazo taking a more right front saving approach on this outside line. As it seemed like last stage, he was ripping it right on that wall. This stage is, maybe he's taking a little bit of a different approach. Well, let's get a little bit of a, let's do an onboard camera. Let's see how that right front tire is sounding. If you hear a lot of scrubbing on the right front, like you hear that scrubbing sound, that's just the grip of that tire falling off the car. And that's how you know you're really burning up your right front. I'm not great at it myself, but like the screeching and scrubbing sound, that's the right front tire. We'll see what he does in the 1 and 2. See if he goes back to that outside line, or see if he goes to the bottom. Seems he kind of likes that middle line. Yeah, single file through the whole field, and Henry Kaloff out front. He's been leading this whole entire race so far in stage 2, except for a lap. Collazo was about a 10th quicker that lap, though. Trent Wilkin, though, now he's trying to get his name in the hat. He's going to the inside of Alexander Ortega, and he will clear Ortega into turn 3. Ortega just lets him go, trying to save the right front tires. Alexander Ortega he's a very good driver on iRacing. He's won a couple races, I believe, in the Cup Series. Yeah, and just achieved a 6K iRating as of recently, so congratulations to him. Very hard thing to do, but we got a battle for the lead now. Collazo on the outside of Kaloff, going into turn number 3 yet again. And Hector Collazo will be right on the door down the front straightaway. 80 laps to go. And Collazo takes the lead with ease. Hector out front. Trent Wilkin, maybe the guy that could run him down. Ortega really saving the right front tire. He's really playing into that long run game. Hector just coming to the outside, does not go to the bottom line at all. I think he's going to have to go to that bottom line if he wants to have any opportunity in winning this race. So he just gripped it right on the wall the entire last stage, and compared to the guys on the bottom, lap 27 to 25-ish into the run, that's when the tires started to fall off for him. Got a guy loose back there. That seems to be Ortega. But if Hector can take an easier approach, obviously last time he had to push harder later on that stage because of, you know, he's looking at the standings, he's looking at that relative. He sees that gap coming down and down when Ortega was behind him. So he's going to start pushing it harder whenever he sees the 48 catch him. But now his lap times are pretty identical with Henry's and Trenton's. You know, they're both, all three of them are in the 31.9s. Ortega in the 31.7s that last lap. Oh, no, sorry. Colby Duckworth in the 31.7, the top three in the 31.9s, and Ortega in the 32s. So obviously he has that slide, but if Collazo can preserve that right front on this outside line, we could see a Hector Collazo victory. Collazo now in the 32s as well, but everybody else is in the 32s, but Hector's over a tenth quicker than them all. Outside lane has been the dominant line, and it seems Peter Hoppy in the back got a little bit loose right there. As he's battling Jackson Brown and Ken Dorian Davis, and Davis is trying to recover from that speeding penalty and just cannot. Nicholas Rode inside the top 10. Great running for him so far. Wyatt D. Thompson, or defending champion, just hasn't been able to have the pace to get back to the front of the field. Or get to the front of the field, I should say, not back to the front of the field. As he's, you know, he won Kansas in the playoffs with a very hard battle, fuel-saving battle with Nicholas Martinez Jr. Very bad damage in his car as Martinez was still trying to save a little bit of fuel, and he, you know, Wyatt Thompson was able to get around him, win the race, and carry that momentum all the way into Homestead Miami Speedway, site of the championship race last season and this season. Carries that momentum with him to Homestead. Saves the right front tire at Homestead, and everybody else burn theirs up. Martinez, right? Trent Wilkin had a bad day as he is. Rapolo said he hates Homestead Miami, and if he's going to want to win a championship, he's going to have to figure that place out. As in this system, you got to be good at the championship track. And, you know, Wyatt Thompson beats Peter Hoppy out by about a second or a second and a half, and wins his first championship in his rookie season as well. But that just shows how good Trent Wilkin was, that he was not that they were both rookies. And even with a guy winning a championship, he doesn't win Rookie of the Year because of how good of a season Trent Wilkin had. Collazo, I'm looking at the wrong guy. Yeah, Collazo just pretty much even with Henry, who was a tenth slower than Trent Wilkin and Colby Duckworth. As we got Wilkin and Duckworth in the middle of the track. We got Henry on the bottom and Hector on the top. And, well, the bottom line is 2 tenths slower. I can't tell. Henry's got the pressure put on by the defending Rookie of the Year, Trent Wilkin. Right on the back bumper of the 57, and Colby Duckworth trying to go somewhere as well. He was so close to a championship appearance, and Wilkin inside the outside wall. We're into the outside wall, not inside the outside wall. That makes no sense. And around the outside line, can he get to his back bumper? He will off the corner. Collazo loose! He saves it! And we're going to be 3 wide almost. Can Colby Duckworth get underneath them? No, he cannot. Trenton Wilkin will take the pass over Henry Caloff, and he will probably pull away. If I had to guess, what can Colby Duckworth do here? Is Henry's not giving up that Cash Culp racing car. Pushing really hard, trying to get right back to the back bumper of him. You look at Kai Collymore inside the top 10 almost. After starting from the back and having a drive-through penalty to start this race. And Nicholas Road is just watching this battle unfold between Wilkin, Caloff, and Duckworth. And Ortega wants in on the fun a little bit too. Nicholas Road just sitting back and watching these guys battle. Can Duckworth get underneath the 57? Yes, he can off of turn number 4. Going into turn 1, advantage of the 57 on the outside. Duckworth drives in deep, gets it turned in the center of the corner. Will it clear on the outside? No, he will not. The 57 will have the run off the top. Duckworth looking back to the inside. Is he going to be able to get there? He will. Is he going to clear the 57 right on that door? So honestly, this might just be hurting Duckworth in the long run. In the tire situation. This could be hurting both of them, honestly. As Alexander Ortega is now here, and he was a 10th faster. Duckworth's going to try to go on a higher line now, but it's not going to matter with the 48 car, who saved his tires this entire run, all 26 laps so far, doing exactly what he did in that first stage. Except for he knows there's not going to be another stage breaking. He's going to have to do it a little bit longer. Ortega gonna drift up, almost into the back, or almost in the left rear of Colby Duckworth. Duckworth gives Henry Caloff a big push down the back straightaway, and that Cash Culp racing car just slowing up the 15. Wilkin was easily able to get around him. I would say easily, actually. It took a little bit of work, but nowhere near as much work as it's taken this 15 to get around him. Collazo's still over a 10th faster than Wilkin. Wilkin gets loose off of 2. And Duckworth all the way by the wall. Ortega all the way on the bottom. And Henry Caloff all the way in the middle of the track. This is Atlanta, and this is multi-groove racing. This is Atlanta, not Echo Park Speedway. The old version of Atlanta. the version with all the bumps and the great side-by-side racing. Colby Duckworth really trying to get on the quarter panel of the 57 here. Can he complete the pass on the bottom? Not a chance. He invites the door for the 48 of Alexander Ortega to now have an opportunity here. 15 on the bottom, 48 on the bottom, or on the top, and the 57 in the middle of the track. Ortega will clear the 15. Is he going to go take his run to the bottom? No, he's going to sit right behind that 57. No, now he's going to take it to the bottom of the racetrack. Going into turn 3. Can he make a line stick? Is he sliding up? Good opportunity. We don't have a yellow for the rest of this race. As the 48 sends it in very deep, slides up to the top of the track, and what a pass by the 48 of Alexander Ortega if he can get the run down the straightaway. But now he's got the advantage point, making the 57 having to run the bottom line. 57 goes all the way to the bottom, the 48 goes all the way to the wall, and Duckworth in the middle of the track. Can Duckworth put his nose somewhere? No, he cannot. And Ortega clears the 57. Now Duckworth has the opportunity to clear him. Colby Duckworth probably pretty upset with how the 57 was driving him on those old worn out tires. Everybody's got old tires, but it seems the 57 burned his crap up. But Hector Collazo still out in front. I think this guy's led every lap but like 4. He laps Eric Lombard. See how everybody else can get around him. So Eric kind of just let the leader go by, and the leader's 1.2 seconds everybody else ahead of everybody else now. And he's still running 0.2 faster a lap. Alexander Ortega was a 1/10 faster, or a quarter of a 1/10 faster last time. Oh, we got a smoker. What happened? And now Wilkin under pressure from the 48. The 48 goes all the way by the wall. Alexander Ortega is flying right now. One more pit stop more than likely for these guys to make. Ortega to the back bumper of the one car. Big push down the back straightaway. Right on the right rear. Almost causing a big wreck. But the 48 now is right on him. And now here comes the one car into pit road. On the pit road for Trent Wilkin. See, everything goes good for him. Remember, 3 pit boxes entering your stall. You can drive through 3, 1, 2, 3 clips that one of the 7 car. Obviously, he cannot go through 3 on the exit because he's at the front of the field. But Hector Collazo now out front. That might have been the move for Trent Wilkin. If they can go to the end on that one stop, that would be a huge momentum gain. In a lap 67 of 120 will be about 50 to go. Coming about 50 to go soon. We got about 54 laps to go in this race. We got another lap car on the way for Hector Collazo to catch. So more than likely 1 or 2 stops maybe in this race. Colazo's still out in front. Pretty much even lap times with the 48 car. Colby Duckworth now over here. Let's see where Trent Wilkin finds himself. Finds himself off of turn number 4, as he's the first guy a lap down. No, not the first guy a lap down. Eric Lombard is the first guy a lap down, but there's multiple guys that have pitted already as well. And look at Trent Wilkin go 30.8. That's almost 3 seconds faster, or 2.1 seconds faster than what Hector Colazo ran that last lap. Colazo's in the outside wall. He might be pitting here soon. Colazo pulling away. No more, as Alexander Ortega cuts another 2/10 into that chunk. JJ Moore cuts a 2/10 into that chunk. What does Colazo run this time? 32.8. And it's basically the same lap time for Ortega as well, but JJ Moore seems to be the fastest out of the 3. I don't know why that just went to a replay. Hello? IRacing? IRacing just died apparently? We're gonna try to reload up iRacing, guys, and try to fix this. Alright, JJ Moore is out front. As seems the few guys have pitted. Hopefully we're good to go for the rest of this race. I mean, that's a very annoying thing to have to deal with right there. Should be good to go, hopefully now. As we got JJ Moore now coming up here road with Wyatt D. Thompson. I apologize to everybody yet again, and that's I mean, I guess it's my fault. I don't really know how to stop that from happening. It's Guess it's just unlucky, you could say. And Hector Collazo loses his lead, it seems. Trent Wilkin is out. Trent Alright. Alright, we're back and everything's good now. Trent Wilkin is out front of this race. And, Trent Wilkin out front with that pit strategy call. Get the side ticker back on there. And it is Trent Wilkin and Colby Duckworth right behind him. Alexander Ortega, Nicholas Herode, Carmelo Echevarria, Hector Collazo 10 seconds behind. But Hector Collazo got, remember, Trent Wilkin pitted laps, or where is last lap pit? Trent Wilkin on way older tires. 32.3 for Wilkin, and Hector at a 31.2. So Hector Collazo almost over a second faster that last lap than the one car of Trent Wilkin. .40 laps to go here from Old Atlanta Speedway in the Coca-Cola 120. From where Coca-Cola originated in Atlanta, Georgia, in the Peach State. Trent Wilkins got a lap car right behind him. He's got 2 lap cars, 3 lap cars in between him and Alexander Ortega, it seems. Never mind, there's like 4 lap cars in between them. Ortega 5 seconds back. But Ortega 8 tenths faster that last lap. Gap getting reeled down. Collazo's getting 3 seconds really quickly. Collazo 2 seconds behind Alexander Ortega. Collazo has been leading this entire race, it seems. On that outside line, saving the tire. He's up into 4th place now. And there's Ortega. I mean, Wilkin is at the start-finish line now. And Collazo's entering or exiting turn 4. So Collazo's catching quick. Ortega's catching quicker. Ortega's 6 tenths faster, but Ortega's got 2 lap cars in front of him now. He's got to get around the 58. Moves out of the way. And the 81 is going to give a little bit of a battle. Probably cost him just a little bit of time right there. Yeah, he's good. And we can see Hector Collazo now in the mirror of the 48. Same thing with Colby Duckworth. Duckworth shouldn't be too much of a problem for Hector, as Duckworth seems to have the pace tonight, but just hasn't had the pace to, be at the front of the pack. I mean, he's been top 5 all race, just does not have the speed to contend for a win or anything near what this 50 car has. Collazo just trying to save that tire, trying to get to the end of this race. 31.9 that lap, 32.2 for taking the 32.4 for Trent Wilkin. So Hector knows he's the fastest of them. He knows he has the best tires, and there's a good chance that these guys have to pit again, because in 75% fuel, there's an unlikely shot that they can go, 60 laps of fuel. But you never know. And Hector into the outside wall, that could give him a little bit of damage. And Ortega was 4/10 faster than the leader that last lap. This lap, Ortega 3/10 faster. Same thing with Collazo and Colby Duckworth. So all three of them are catching Trent Wilkin at about the same rate. As you see Wilkin off of turn number 2, and look right behind them. That's Alexander Ortega. The distance is getting shorter and shorter each and every lap. .32.5 and a 31.1. If they got to pit again, Trent Wilkins in a great position because he can just pit whenever they catch him and do the same thing all over again. Remember, these guys on their best laps of the race are running in the 30.7s. These guys now are in the 32s. They're over 2 seconds slower almost than what they were, running on their best laps. And Ortega very loose off of turn 2. Let's go on board with that Ortega machine. Oh, nope, that's not on board. See, listen, remember the tire screeching early on in the race with Hector Collazo? Let's listen to the tire screech with the 48. Seems the right rear is hurting more than the right front for him. Easily around the outside for the leader. And he wrecked the leader! He hangs on to it! What are you doing? Unbelievable move by William Johnson on this front straightaway. Let's see what he does yet again. As he's got Trent Wilkin right on his outside. He just comes up the track and hits him. Unbelievable. And that one cost us Trent Wilkin a ton of spot. Or not a ton of spots, but a ton of time. 33-second lap time that last lap. 1.4 seconds faster was Ortega. Now Wilkins in a predicament. That right rear tire, well, she's burning. How can he recover this lap? 4/10 slower. And Ortega's within 6/10 of him. Within 5/10 of him. There's also a chance with how big the advantage is that if guys want to, say Ortega can make it on fuel and Wilkin wants to pit, there's a chance he could unlap himself and still catch Ortega. Yep, and here he comes. And here comes Ortega as well. It's a race on the pit road. The 48 and the 1. Here we go. It's a big pit stop for these two. As Hector Collazo might have his race going up in smokes, and he turns the 81. The 81 was exiting as the 1 was entering. And we have a collision on pit road that might hurt Trent Wilkin now. Here, who's going to get off pit road first? Wilkin will. The race off of pit road, the 1 wins it. What's going to happen going into turn 3 is they're both getting back up to speed. And Trent and Wilkin will retain the gap. Colby Duckworth now is your new leader. Colazzo's pitted. He's on pit road. He's exiting. Where is Wilkin at? Look how much advantage they've gained. Hector Colazzo seeing his opportunity for a race win slowly fading away. Can Ortega hang with the 1? Where's Trent Wilkin going to be able to get his first win of the season? And Duckworth on a pit road now here. Duckworth going to be losing a lot of time more than likely. And we got less than 30 laps to go. Colby Duckworth almost slides through his pit box right there. I mean, that could have been bad, as we got 3 Mach 5 cars in the top 4 here. The 7, the 5, and the 9. And Trent, Wilkin, Ortega, the battle for virtual leader. Ortega on the outside. And Wilkin was on the bottom. Ortega with a big run on the back straightaway. He drives it in deep. It's going to be tough for him to get around him. Down the back straightaway. JJ Moore still leads. Nicholas Rowe trying to unlap himself. JJ Moore ran a 32.2. Trent Wilkin ran a 30.7 that last lap. Ortega still on the back bumper of the 1. Colazzo on the 30.9s. Just not going to be possible, I don't think. He's going to need a lot of luck to go his way in these last 21 laps. And who knows, you can maybe get back on the lead lap and get a caution. As he's back on the lead lap now. And 7 seconds off of these two. They're battling for virtual lead. And the 05 is now in the battle between the leader and another lap car in Nicholas Road. The 05 did hurt Trent Wilkin very badly with on speed. He hits him and could have caused Trent Wilkin this race. And the 7 car looks to be pitting this time. No, he just gets super tight, or just goes really slow, lets the lap cars go. And Colby Duckworth unlaps himself. All over the back bumper of the 1 is Alexander Ortega. These two driving very hard. They know how important this lead would be. They know how hard it's going to be to pass on old tires. He's trying to take the air off of them. Wilkin gets very loose and into the outside wall. There goes the 48 of Alexander Ortega back to the lead. Wilkin pushing him into turn number 3. He's not giving up. Trent Wilkin right on the door of him. They touch off a 4. The 1 will clear him off of turn 2. Ortega trying to go through the gap. It's there. They touch again. Wilkin very loose, trying to hang on to it. This could just be inviting Collazo into the battle. Collazo, 6 seconds back now. They just ran a 32-2. Collazo. Where is Hector at? Oh, he's right behind. Collazo 2/10 faster. Ortega to the outside. They're side by side into turn 3 again. 15 laps to go. The battle for 7th place could be the battle for the win right now. Ortega right on the back bumper of Trent Wilkin. Lap traffic in the way. Ortega to the bottom. Big run. Wilkin in the wall. Wilkin will lose it. Is he going to be able to fight back on the outside? Did he burn it up? There's a chance he burned his stuff up. Is his best days behind him? Peter Hoppy in front of him. Now that is 4th position. He's got a little bit of right front damage, it seems. They're 16 seconds off of J.J. Moore. Wilkin not done yet. Kendora Davis in the battle now too, as he is a lap down though after pitting. And Davis is going to almost spin it off of 2. And Peter Hoppy seems to be letting Wilkin and Ortega go by. 4th position, 4 seconds up the road now is Wyatt Thompson. The leader is J.J. Moore. That they're saving a little bit of fuel maybe, as Kai Collymore is committed to the fuel saving strategy. Same thing with Wyatt Thompson. It's not going to matter for Thompson. I don't think it's going to matter for Collymore either for the win-wise. I think that's out of the question, being, 3 seconds and 4 seconds ahead of these two who are charging to the front. Kendora Davis is going to come through and clear him. Ortega in the wall. Big run for Trenton Wilkin. Does he have the opportunity here to get around the 48? He's running half a lane lower. Ortega on the outside wall. Big bump from the 1. Less than 10 laps. Coming to 10 laps to go in the Coca-Cola 120. He's right on the door. Off of turn number 4. Kai Collymore on pit road now. This is now the battle for 3rd place. 2 seconds up the road is 2nd place in Wyatt D. Thompson. And J.J. Moore might have the fuel potentially to get to the end of this race and win it. J.J. Moore pitted after everybody else on that last pit stop. So you got to think maybe he's got the fuel. It just doesn't seem like Wilkin has the speed that he needs in that Toyota Supra. And he's going back to the bottom of the track, trying to make something happen. He might have to door him off of a corner if he has the opportunity to. Not that time. Very well could be the battle for the win. Coming to 7 laps to go. Wilkin, great corner for him. He's so close to having another opportunity. These guys giving everything they have left in the car. Every little bit of grip that these tires have, trying to squeeze every squeeze every inch of it out. There's Wyatt Thompson just in front of him. JJ Moore still rolling on track. JJ Moore might be able to make it to the end of this race. Kai Collymore now, who's a lap down, trying to get through on those fresh tires. This could be big for the 48. As 48 goes up high, is he going to get out of the wall? He stays out of the wall. At this rate, they might not even catch Wyatt Thompson. They might. They're running a few tenths faster. Ortega on the wall. Wilkin on his left rear. They touch. Off of turn number 4. Ortega on the outside wall. Wilkin into the grass. We stay green, and they keep going straight. Trenton Wilkin completes the pass on the 48. The pass in the grass for Darrell. Wilkin trying to defend the outside line. They have this battle now for second. As Wyatt D. Thompson's involved. He's going to go to the inside of the guy in old tires. Ortega's going to go all the way on the inside, trying to push the one car up the track. JJ Moore still rolling 32.8 that last lap for him. Hard to believe that the one can make, or the 7 can make it on field. The one gets loose off of that 48. Wilkin gonna have a big run off of the corner. Wilkin in the wall. Four laps remaining. JJ Moore still out in front. Did JJ Moore play the strategy out correct? He's still going. 3 laps to go. He might be close on fuel. He's got that big of a gap. It does not matter. He can save. Wilkin with the 48 into him again. This battle has been insane. It's been 20 constant laps of this. Trent Wilkin pulling away a little bit now. Maybe the 48 burn all of his crap up. What does JJ Moore do here in the turn 3? Does he pit? He stays out another one. Committed to the strategy. We got another lap car trying to come through to pass these two. Last time it hurt Ortega. This time it could very well help him. With Wilkin on the outside. Ortega puts his nose. What a move by the 48. JJ Moore coming to the white flag. He will take the white flag as he had the fuel to make it. The 48 and the 1. One more lap to go for these two. Can JJ Moore make it to the finish line? He seems to be... No, he's not out of fuel. JJ Moore will play his strategy cards right and will win at Atlanta. The battle for second now. Into turns 3 and 4. Ortega clears him. Can Wilkin make a move off of the corner coming to the line? No, he cannot. What a battle. Alexander Ortega will take second place, and Wyatt Thompson played the strategy out just as good as JJ Moore. We'll take 4th place for him, but JJ Moore is a winner in the UIS. What a race. And Mach 5 Frost Motorsport will get their first win. And JJ even has a little bit of gas left to do some burnouts. Oh, and he kisses the outside wall. And what a race. It's 2 great weeks in a row. We'll begin our top 3 in here for an interview in just a moment. Unbelievable finish. Crazy battles mid-pack. Crazy battle at the front. We'll be bringing in our guys in just a moment whenever they get over here, but what a race. I mean, you come to these older tracks and you expect good hard racing, but you did not expect what we saw today. JJ Moore wants to burn out a little bit more. JJ, you got a copy in the booth?
Yes, sir.
You know, you play your strategy cards out right. You find a way to get a win. You just, walk us through, pitting, obviously, well, not obviously, but the stream had a little bit of an issue, so we didn't really get to see when everybody else pitted, but how did you have the fuel compared to, nobody else besides your teammate? How did you have the fuel to get yourself to the finish line?
Well, I spent that first run before the stage kind of just experimenting, seeing how much fuel I could get because I knew just based on calculations it would be really close. And us as a team kind of just determined, hey, it's going to be a close one stop. If we can make it, then we're good. And then I pitted on 77. I saw a lot of guys trying to go pit around 50 or 60, and I knew they wouldn't be able to make it, so I just kind of stretched it. I still had a lap or two in the tank at the end, um, but it was kind of just fuel saving the whole run. I just had to set it up. I feel like Wyatt could have been there with me, but got caught up in a wreck there that kept it green, which kind of screwed his race over. But no, it's just crazy fuel saving. I still don't know exactly how I did it, but it just happened.
Yeah, and how many laps of fuel did you have when you came to the line?
I was at 2.3 at the line
So you were good.
after the burnouts.
Yeah,
I think at the line when I finished, I was around like 3.5. So I was still really good. I was really saving a lot of fuel.
yeah. Well, you get your as a team from a team owner aspect. You get your first win for Mach 5 Frost Motorsports. What does this entitle and look like for the rest of the season? Because obviously Wyatt Thompson gets fourth place as well.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just kind of carrying the momentum from last season. Like obviously we all had good runs last season. I kind of screwed myself some races. Wyatt won the championship, and with Mach 5 teaming up with Frost Motorsports this year and making this new team, we just kind of needed to show out here, show we're still the top dog, show we can go out here and dominate these races. And not necessarily that we dominated today, but we had 2 or 3 cars up there in contention. I felt like the whole day, or in a place where if something happened with the leaders, we could take advantage of it. And it just ended up that we got first and fourth, which is really good for the team. So we're just going to keep carrying the momentum on through and go into next week.
All right. Well, you got anybody you'd like to shout out before we send you back?
Thank all the boys over there, Wyatt, Ken, and Riley. Like had their races, but they all did good for their own respects with what all happened. Thank all the sponsors. Thank UIS for running it, all the guys behind the scenes that do all the admin work, that kind of stuff. Thank you for streaming it. And yeah, just thank everybody really.
All right. Well, P1 for JJ Moore. Who got second? Was there a two? Alexander, you got a copy in the booth?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, P2, you start on pole. You win the first stage. Obviously that's good points for the guy you're subbing for. Um, you know, that would have been a crazy battle for the win at the end. Just walk us through that those last 20 laps with Trenton.
Oh yeah, just really, really hard racing. I didn't think JJ was gonna be able to make it to the end, and so um, we were just kind of. I think we both figured we were probably gonna be racing for the win if he had ran out, and so we were both just. I mean, it was a fucking slugfest. I mean, just going back and forth for a while. Like he would get the spot, and I'd get the spot back, and he'd get the spot, and then we were able to just barely get him there on the last lap. So definitely a good point stay, good pace. So can't complain.
Yeah,
Had fun.
well, I mean, you were one of the faster guys all race. So just how was the tire work? 'Cause obviously, we know old Atlanta and how it can shoot up the tires, but it seems some of those guys that were on the outside line were so much faster, and it seems they could save the tires up there. Were you able to adapt to that, or is it just you just had to deal with the tire wear?
Kind of. The outside definitely melted your tires more. I mean, we saw that in stage one when Hector, the 50 car, he just ran the fence like the entire first stage and gapped like a second and a half, and I stayed to the bottom. The problem is the outside is just so much faster that unless you have like a solid 10 fit, like an actual like tire advantage from just pitting at different times, you're not going to be able to make time and pass on the bottom. And so, I would kind of save the tires and then I'd start to just break even. And then it would just be breaking even, maybe gaining a little bit. And if he started to push harder on the top, you'd actually start to lose, even with better tires. And so it was this weird thing where you like had to save your tires on the bottom to then set up to get ready to go and like push on the fence for like the last 10-ish laps of a run to try and run somebody down. And so it's definitely a little unfortunate because I'm not used to doing that at all. I prefer to be able to just do one thing the entire run for the most part and not have to change my lane to catch somebody who's burning their stuff up. But it is what it is, and definitely had some fun doing it.
Yeah, it was a very entertaining battle between you and Trent. You got anybody to take to shout out before we send you back?
Shout out to the one and only NMJ for missing this
The
race. So I could do it.
the NMJ.
The NMJ. Yeah, that's it. No sponsors. We're sponsorless today.
Yeah, I was wondering if that was shredding pants or you, so I guess it was you. So,
Yeah,
all right, we'll send you back. Good luck tomorrow night and the rest of the season.
appreciate it.
Trent Wilkin, you got a copy in the booth?
I got you.
Well, P3 obviously not what you wanted. You were, you had some pretty good luck with strategy, pitting early on in the race. Can you walk us through that the incident with that lap car and everything else that happened after it?
Well, I have no idea what the lap car was doing. I mean, one, he's blocking going into three and four, and then come off, and I don't know if I just came down or what, but I mean, I lost like 2 seconds on that, and I felt Ortega was just gonna pit whenever I pitted. So I was like, well, can't run long because I short pitted the last one, and I was like, I'm just gonna pit, and whatever happens, happened. I thought Ortega would have sped the way he came in, but I was racing for the lead the entire time, and I didn't know they were gonna be able to save that much fuel.
Yeah, I mean, your and Ortega's battle might be one of the best battles we've ever seen in the UAS. It was just constant back and forth. It looked like between you two. What did you need more to be able to get around him at the end of the race?
Probably not to hit the wall off of two. He hit the wall going into one, and as long as I would have had a clean one and two, I think I would have been able to stay in front of him. Maybe you would have done like a late charge into a three, but we would have just covered bottom probably because I felt like I had a pretty good car in three and four being able to rotate.
and I feel like that's where I was getting him in kind of in the long run. One, two, I was able to slow down my middle off and be able to rotate and get off the corner. But if we just had a clean last lap, I feel like we possibly would have came home with a P2.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously you won the Rookie of the Year last season. Going into the season, obviously you didn't show up to Daytona. What's the what's your goal and your expectation now? Because you have been previously quoted saying, "I hate Miami and I hope the place burns down," or something along those lines. And championship is at Homestead. So what's it gonna take for Trent Wilkin to win a championship?
For somehow Homestead still to blow up, and we have to remove tracks, because unless they change the tire model, we use a different setup, maybe it fits me better. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, I don't know what it is with it. Just never truly. I mean, I have top speed. It's just middle, long speed, and I feel like I'm saving tires. I just want to be consistent. Last year, we started off the season kind of rough, and we kind of had to crawl ourselves back up into it, being able to win some races, but try to stay in the top five, top three, hopefully rattle off some wins. Um, I felt like this was a good showing for Homestead with tires. I wish Homestead would kind of run like this sometimes, but maybe I'll call our friend Putin and have him bomb Homestead with all the nukes he's got in Russia.
Gosh. Well, you know, let's just skip past that last sentence. Before we send you back, you got anybody you'd like to
There's
shout
no
out?
no casualties, no casualties. Just track casualty. Just no
track
no
damage.
no humanity casualty.
Well,
Just the track and
the
nature.
QRS Cup Series is going to Homestead tomorrow night. Are you going to be attending that?
As long as I get home in time from work, yes.
Okay.
And I felt like that went great, for me last time. So as long as we just don't wreck 10 laps into the race, I think we're good.
Yeah, I remember that because you wrecked me. Um, before we send you back, you got anybody like to, shout out?
Shout out to my late grandma. She's passed a couple weeks ago, so she's gonna be on the car for the rest of the year. Same with I want to say she's gonna be on the Cup car. I haven't really looked at the Cup car, but she'll be riding on board. Trying to give some good vibes going on to it, and shout out to Max Ford for letting me keep on having these chances, and then Chase George for the Cup Series, still giving me chances on there, even though sometimes I can be sometimes can't finish some races, but I feel like we show potential and we have speed and we're able to rattle off some wins when we're able to execute on a lot of things.
All right, well, we'll send you back, and good luck tomorrow night, and the rest of the season.
I appreciate it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it for today here at Old Atlanta. Tomorrow night, the QRS Cup Series, 9 p.m. EST. It'll be live from Homestead Miami Speedway, and that'll be a 134 lap race, I believe. I think Jacob Quill will be on the call for that one. Don't quote me on that one. Then next Monday on the UBA Network, it's The Rock with the trucks. The trucks at The Rock next Monday night. And the next Friday night, Xfinity cars and the 40XI Contender Series go to The Rock as well. So, the next outlook for the next week is, pretty entertaining. Tomorrow night, the Homestead was such a good race for the championship last season. The Rock is always a great racetrack, and that's going to be in the next week. So, we had a great race tonight. A lot of good hard battles. Only two cautions in this race. Once at the beginning of stage one, and once at the end of the first stage. Besides that, we were green the rest of the way. So, and it ends in a JJ Moore victory and a win for Frost Motorsports / Mach 5 Racing. So